Hello world, welcome to the stream. I'm SourceCode and today we're going to build an app for the HoloLens. I'm pretty excited. We're going to use Wonderland and I think we're going to do a Pokemon style clone game. So I'm excited. Here we go!
I am not an atomic playboy.
Hello everyone and welcome. What am I high up in this stream? Ah well. GP13, thank you so much for the host. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I've been looking forward to this stream for well, I think it may be even years now. Let's do some music. Let's do this one. There we go. So yeah, I've been interested in the HoloLens for a long time. I've been developing for the HoloLens for 8 months, since August last year, and WebXR was not available on the HoloLens. And a few months back, finally, there was an update for the HoloLens where the Chromium version of Edge came to the HoloLens. And with the latest Canary versions, we got stuff like hand tracking in there. So now I think we can start figuring out how to do real WebXR mixed reality development using the HoloLens. Now I've also been playing with the Wonderland engine, and I want to try to see if I can get Wonderland to work with the HoloLens. Well, I did a small test last week to see if it was even possible. Jonathan Hale from White Rabbit, who is building the Wonderland engine, implemented some features to help out, which is really awesome. So yeah, I think we'll just go and start and see where we can go. I've got a lot of ideas, so we're going to write them down as well. But yeah, we should be able to view the view of the HoloLens as well on stream. I hope that everything works. I've been doing a lot of testing, so yeah, it should work, but you never know. When you're live, things are different. So let's switch to the desktop. So this is the Wonderland engine, and we're just going to start, I guess, a new project. I want this to be in my dev folder, so I'm not going to use the default path. But we're going to go to C dev. And not I think the idea of a game came up last stream, or maybe the stream before that. And I was thinking about a Pokemon type game. But in this case, we're not going to fight Pokemon, but we're going to fight the COVID-19 virus with all the mutations. So there are a lot of different mutations. You gotta catch them all and see if you can catch all different mutations of the COVID-19 virus. But the basics are the same. You just have a game, some random thing appears, and we have to catch it. And maybe if we have time enough in the upcoming weeks, we can maybe implement a fighting mechanism or something. But for now, I want to just have something to appear, and we need to trigger something to be able to catch it. And we're going to explore as much as possible different web APIs. We could do web audio, for example, to do some spatial audio. We can do... Well, I've done Bluetooth before. In this case, Bluetooth is not that interesting. But I want to do the hand tracking. So one of the things I want to do, and what's common on the HoloLens, so you are in an immersive environment. There is nothing there. You can see your hands. Of course, when you look at your hands, you can see your hands. And what I want to do, normally in a Unity project, you have what's called a hand menu or a palm menu. And you can, if you take your hand and you turn your hand around, you get a menu visible next to your hand. And that's something I would like to build. That's a way of interacting with an application on the HoloLens. So that's something I want to start implementing as well. But first we need to create a folder for this game. So let's call it, can we do COVIDmon? Is it? Nerdy Hamster? The Nerdy Hamster, thank you so much for the subscription. 11 months already. Sub hand tracking, yeah, I want to get into hand tracking. Real hand tracking. And not what we did before, where we know the location of the hand, but we see a static hand. No, I want to have hand tracking where we can view individual fingers and joints and all that kind of stuff. November 9th, 2019. Yes, but you've subscribed for 11 months, so that's 11 months. But you are here a long time. You are a founder. You have the founder badge, which is you were one of my first 10 subscribers, which is pretty cool. I think you might be one of the first. Well, let's not go there. Okay. Let's call this game COVIDmon. And let's do COVIDmon here as well. We're going to use the default scene because that's easy to work with. Let me check if the not in the project. We need to check the product settings as well. The preferences, if we have the server set up, yeah. So when you are developing for the Quest, you can do a forgot the name. You can use the inspector to do port forwarding, like this. Now you should be able to connect to a remote host. But for some reason, I never get it. I have never got this to work. So debugging will be a challenge. Now with the first version of Edge on the HoloLens, you didn't even have a debugger. There was no, well, there was a way using Vorlon.js, a tool to do remote debugging. Well, I'm not sure if you can use Emacs to develop on the HoloLens. We can try if it works. Maybe. I think I just updated to a new version of Edge, so maybe it started working. But otherwise, we need to have the certificates and have the server running in SSL. This is some of the things Jonathan added to the engine. Also, we have runtime. This is new. We can set optional and required features. For example, hand tracking, hit testing, all that kind of stuff. Now we're going to need hand tracking. I'm not sure. We can check. So if you say optional and it's not in there, you get a warning. So we can check the warnings to see if, for example, we have occlusion or plane detection. I'm not sure if that's in there already. Occlusion, if that, I just hope that someday they will add it. That's what makes the HoloLens amazing. So I gave, as an example, I let my dad try out the HoloLens when I first got it. And we placed a tiger behind the couch, which was pretty fun, and he was looking at the couch. But when you're standing in front of the couch, you cannot see the tiger because it is behind the real couch. But then I forgot about it, and weeks later, I came into my living room again wearing the HoloLens, and there was still a tiger behind the couch. So when you place an object in the real world, a hologram, it stays there. But you can place something behind something else, and that's what the occlusion is for. And that's what I really would like to have. I think we need to set it to bounded floor or local floor as well. Also, what's new, you have in editor, you can set the port. So by default, it's 44 or 8080. If you do SSL, it will be 8081. But I think it's more convenient to set this to 442. So now the port we are using will be 443. And we don't have a port to enter because 443 is a default. No. You can set, at least in Unity, you can set different types. You can specify how fast it should update. But I think it's pretty performance heavy. So what we usually do is have it on like 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds it updates the mesh, the spatial mesh. So when someone is in front of you and is scanned and that person walks away, you still see a small silhouette behind. You can increase that speed. The same for the accuracy. We have that set to low, I think. That's good enough. And we even had issues with it where we place... So one of the apps I built for the HoloLens is an app to train CPR. And we use a real CPR mannequin connected through Bluetooth. So we know how your compressions are and how your ventilations are. But when we were using the spatial mesh at first, we noticed the spatial mesh was updating and it was slightly different every time. So the characters started moving. So we are not even using the spatial mapping at that point. The new app we're building, we're using the spatial map because it's just awesomely cool. But you cannot track moving objects, for example. Anyway, we're going to set this to 443, and I want to set the near camera a bit closer. So now it's 10 centimeters, but that's pretty close. So let's do 1 centimeter. I just want to have the camera real in your face. 100 meters is fine. We're probably not going to go that far. We also are going to enable WebXR on the AR part. And I think that's... Oh no, we're going to set this one to black. We can set it to fully transparent, but I don't think that really matters if we set it to black. So how the HoloLens works is that it is an additive display. Which means, if you know Photoshop, for example, if you set it to... I think it's multiply... things get lighter. You cannot darken something. You can add light to something, but you cannot subtract light. So you see... so black will be fully transparent and white will be fully opaque. So you, for example, one question we get asked a lot. Yeah, can you add shadow? No, sorry, you cannot add shadow because that means you have to darken something. And that's just not possible with the way the HoloLens works. But I think we should run this project now. I think we need to restart the server for a second to update the port. So now we have the game running here on the desktop. We can see it. And we should be able to run this on my test server. Yes. So this is running on coder.nl. Which is just my test domain name. It's just a domain name that's pointing to a local IP address of the machine where I'm running right now. And what I can do now is open that same URL on the HoloLens. And we should be able to get this mesh in there. So let's try it. So let's see. Turn it on. There we go. Let's make sure I'm casting. Okay. 1 second. There's an app for casting. But I can show you. Let's switch to the scene. So this is my HoloLens scene. Now she should be able to see the app. So now I'm about to project. Yes, there we go. Let me switch back to OBS. And chat. So there we go. So now you are seeing the HoloLens. So if I do my palm menu, or my start menu, it should work. Now there's a bit of a delay. So I'm seeing things just a tiny bit faster. But we can go to the browser. I'm using the Canary version of Edge. I'm just placing the window over there. So now we have the window, and it's just staying there. Now we should go to CodeRNL. If I can touch it. Let's go. Now keep in mind, this is the Canary version of Edge and is updated right before the stream, which is really risky. I think we need to type it. Cannot show preview text. So what is wrong here? Can we type here? I think for some reason the keyboard isn't working. I think the update is ready. Let's just it's not updated, so maybe we need to update. Let's hope this fixes the project. Otherwise we'll be done pretty early today. Okay. Updating. Loading. Here we go. Not loading twice. Let's close the old one. Okay, please do it. Now I've had issues with the casting. Why is it not loading from the favorite bar? Let's try. So I have this little Bluetooth keyboard, which should be connected to the HoloLens. Let's check if it's just if this browser. Now we could build using the first preview as well, but the downside is, let me open this dashboard as well so I can. Yeah, well, I cleaned up my desk even before the stream. Okay, let me see if it's the casting. So I'm going to shut down the cast for a second. Yes, the if you play something in AR, it is there. So the resolution of the HoloLens is way better. I just noticed right now. But for some reason, I cannot open any site anymore. Now I'm running the insiders version on the HoloLens. So I think I'm just going to reboot the device. Okay. I'm just going to reboot it and see if that helps. Takes a few seconds. But yeah, the AR objects are, if you play something in the real world, it's there and it stays there. You can use something called world anchors. And these can be shared. But then it's in a location and it is stuck in that location. Oh, I think it's already booted. So that's when you are using, for example, your phone and you play something there, it is there, but it's not 100% there. But in mixed reality, it is there. It is solid on the ground. Well, at least we have sound again. Now it doesn't see my machine anymore. It's funny, it needs to be on the Wi-Fi. Can we go? Yes, that works now. It is connecting. There we go. So now you should be able to see the screen. Yes, there we go. We're back in business. Okay, so now we see this here. And now what we have is this AR button. So now when I press this, when I press it, now if it supports AR, we should be able to go there. If not, I could have made a mistake in the settings. Oh, here we go. It just takes a second. Now, as you can see, it is too big. There is no occlusion. And yeah, I can walk around, but it is way too big. So what I'm going to do, let's go to the start menu, hit home. So now we're back here. So first step is just scaling everything down a bit. So we can check it out. So let's go to Wonderland. Let's remove the ground plane. We don't need that ground plane. Now when we start at 0, 0. But our head is probably at 0, 0 as well. Instead of not the normal 1.5 meters in the air. So what we need to do is go here. So this is the center, and the objects are a little bit out of the place. So I think the camera is not. Oh, the camera is out of place. So we need to do this. So now we just start right over there. Well, let's set it 180. And let's scale. Let's group these. Let's add a new object. We have a cube. We have a sphere and a cone, and let's do these under the empty, and let's scale this down. Let's make it pretty small, and to be sure that it's in front of us, let's move it a little bit. Yeah, so we're not exactly in it. Okay, let's well, actually we should already. So if you go back to the HoloLens, it should automatically reload the browser. Are we still viewing? Yes. It doesn't right now, probably because it wasn't. Oh no, I need to it should automatically refresh. Yeah, there we go. Now we don't see anything because it's so small. But if we go to AR, we should be able to figure out somewhere. That's the green screen. Oh, they are down there. So we cannot move them. So let's move them like a meter up. And, well, 2 meters to the side. So let's move this. Let's go to the desktop. Let's move this up 1 meter. And then let's do -1.5. So now when I go back here, I need to... So the problem is, when casting, it is really lagging. Now I think if I just hit this... No, it's not... So during live streams I have issues with auto reload, which is terrible. Did it reload? I didn't check. It's so fast. There we go. So now we should have something just floating over there. I think, did I put it in the wrong direction? Where did it go? Oh, now it's behind me. It's too bad that it's so laggy when casting. Okay, now it's right in front of me, in front of there. How do we figure out where we need to go? I kind of feel it's in a different place. It doesn't follow the real... real world. We should... we cannot cast rays at the start. We should generate the world when we start it. But the orientation and everything should be the same every time. Now it's over there. Is it over there in AR as well? Yes. So let me see if I can do this. So I'm going to walk over there. So I'm going to... I'm not sure this works. Am I still... Okay. I hope this works. I can walk over there. So as you can see, it is there. Now I noticed it was jittering a little bit, but it's probably because the screen share. That is, yes, that's attached again. That is just, yeah, the screen capture is just so It's asking a lot from the device. But that works, so that's pretty cool. Now we need to make it into a game. Now I wonder, we're going to do some tests first. I'm going to add a couple of these options and see what they do. And if they... It is just WebXR on a web page. Yes, it is WebXR on a web page. You can run... Technically, you can run any WebXR on the web on that page. If you want to do more, for example, the hand tracking, that needs a special setting. And the device needs to support it. That's why the required features and the optional features are for. Now, we only need the required features. Because we don't, we just build everything just for a specific set. But you cannot... So if you have a real VR type experience, so when I was wearing the HoloLens, you don't even figure out... You don't even feel that the field of view was pretty small. You can only see this, basically, in front of you. But it's good enough. But when you're using a VR experience, then it only renders that area, which is, and it is a little bit opaque, so that doesn't work. You need to have a black or transparent background. Black doesn't get rendered, so black or transparent background will hide everything, and then you can walk around. And I can play my games that I build in WebXR. I can play them on WebXR, on the HoloLens. Although they are built for VR and there's a dome around you most of the time. And that doesn't work. So you have to be... That works a little bit different. Yeah, black is like alpha. That's the way the display of the HoloLens works. You cannot create black on the HoloLens. It's really, really for mixing stuff. White is pretty non-transparent, and black is transparent. It's an additive type display. Yes. But I just want to have a light estimation, hit testing. We know we have hand tracking. Oh, that's funny. The order is different here. I want to see the anchors, and I just want to check if these features are here. So I'm just going to save. And we're going to the HoloLens again. I need to keep track of the battery. I'm running the Insiders version, and that's just eating battery. So now I'm not sure. I'm just going to see what optional features are coming up. I just said everything I might be able to use. Oh. My microphone was in the way of the display. Let's cast again. How far are we on battery? 75%, so that should be fine. Okay, now we have this again. So we can go, we have it still open, so let's close. You can do this differently. You can tap your wrist, or you can just look at your wrist. So there's eye tracking. You can look at the wrist and then pinch, and you get the start menu, which is pretty cool. I always use this way of working. We can go there, and there is more tools, and we can go to the developer tools. So we have them in a separate window. And there we go. So we have a few errors. Let's move this out of the way. Let's make this a bit bigger. It's really hard to read with the casting going on. It doesn't show the warning. Yes, this is new in the new Edge. So in the previous Edge, so if you are not running the Insider's version of the HoloLens, you still have the old Edge. You don't have these debug tools. You cannot we can try in a second, but before you cannot remote into it. I couldn't get it to work. But I was expecting to have some warnings. Oh, we have to close it. So normally, when you set optional features, you will get a warning if they are if they're not there. If you require them, you get an error. So I think we're just going to try these because I really and anchors as well. I really want these. So let's repackage. Now the sockets are not working. I don't know why. Might be because, oh, I know why the sockets are not working. I faked the port. I'm using port 443, but now it defaults the port on the WebSockets as well to 80. But there's nothing running on port 80. Still running? Why is it not coming up? Wasn't supported. It's funny, we don't get the errors. Oh, I think we only get them once we go into VR, maybe. Or in AR, MR, XR. So this was taking a second before. Ah, come on. Oh, wait. We got the errors. So unrecognized feature, occlusion. So it doesn't know occlusion. Okay, that's fine. But can we do the hit test? That means we can do anchors, which is awesome. And we can do hit test. Maybe. And plane detection. Which is pretty cool. That's why we didn't get the warnings before. I needed to switch to XR. So let's wait for it to fully load. It's probably even slower now since we have the debugger open. Okay, let's go into AR. No runtimes. No runtimes support the I'm not sure. I don't know. Let's do the warnings again. So plane detection, anchors, hit test. I know hand tracking works because I tried that. Let's try again. I think we're going to switch ports. I think that would be easier because then it would auto refresh. Let's set the port to something simple. Can we do low ports? Can we say we want port 10? Can we do that? I never use low port numbers, but yeah, we can do 10. So now HTTPS will be port 11. I can't show preview So that's something new. That's my keyboard. $11. Cannot reach 11. So apparently we cannot do 11. Well, then we do just... let's try something weird. This should work. Scribbers Games, welcome! So it's 7551. Enter. So now it should work. Now we go into AR. It was too fast. Let's go into AR. Oh yeah, this is a nice one. We cannot go, because I went too fast, it thinks we are in our AR already. Oh. Oh, that's weird. I didn't got that error before. So this works. Now we need to check if we get out, what warnings we have. But those objects are still floating in my room. So let's... Oh, that's cool. I think the eye tracking is working. Let's see what it says. The warnings. We didn't get any warnings. No, yeah, it's because I changed port, but I probably did coder NL on 443 already. That's why I didn't ask it before. But we didn't get any warnings. So if we don't get warnings, is that then that hit test and plane detection works? I think... Well, plane detection and hit test are the first. You can try the WebXR examples. Yes, we can. Do you happen to know the URL? Or we can just Google. We Google. That's too long to type. WebXR. So yeah, we're building COVIDmon, a Pokemon clone where we have to catch all mutations of the COVID virus. Oh yes, I accept. This one. Please. Yeah, just I want to have something that appears, something we have to throw somehow, so we have a menu. We have to think about how to create a heads-up display. It's gonna go viral. Yes, it is. Sample 16 hit test. Oh, Yinchi, that's right. I should have used that one. I forgot. 16. Hit test. I don't think it wants to work. It says, but maybe we need to open up Maybe we need to open up the browser tools for this window. Oh wait, let me share my screen on my other display. It just... Oh, that's funny. So yeah, there's voice recognition here as well. Open developer tools. Ah, it's too bad that doesn't work. That's the first voice command they need to add. It says it's not supported. Lost my window again. But is this using the correct way of doing things? I just want to try. We need to try. So there's space in my room now. Wow. It's a bit big, but... Look at that. WebXR hand tracking. 2 hands. Can we... We cannot pick up anything, but... This is so cool. But if we have this example, we can just copy this example into the what? Sometimes I don't know what's happening. Did I say something about my IP? Can we go there? Anyway, this is really cool. So the hand tracking works, but the hit test doesn't seem to work, which is odd. Now we don't get a lot of information. Thank you, Deep Panther. Depth sensing is not in here. Too bad. You must provide a depth sensing dictionary. Oh. What's on the test pages? Cube C, pointer painter, permission request. But I don't get that hit test. But the hit test didn't give an error. Now I know that for the hit test to work, we need to set the space reference or something. Run without polyfill. Is there a difference then? The specific configuration is not supported. Okay, I'm going to open this one on the desktop to see what's there. Yeah, I know. But I had issues with the hand tracking as well. And you need to have a combination of the hand tracking, but there was more. You need to set for the hand tracking to work. Where do we go? Here. We need to have... Oh. Wonderland left us. That's only happening when you're watching Square's games. When you're watching, Wonderland just leaves. Now, Yinji, you have an interesting thing there. So if you are building a Unity project, why not just export it directly to the HoloLens? Because then you don't have the other platforms. That's right. So let's have a quick look at that example. What is that doing? Oh, let's go to source. That's easier. I have a gut feeling. So for the hand tracking to work, I need to change things. Was it this one? No, it was not this. I did this. This is what I used to test. It was this one, I think. Index. Yes, the reference space type needs to be unbounded to get the hand tracking to work. So maybe it has something similar with the... No, I didn't change any flags. But keep in mind, I am running the Canary version of Edge there. So you need to run Windows Insider because it needs to have the render engine in Windows, or access to the render engine, or there's something that needs to be in there. And then you get the normal Insider version, and we just updated to the latest Canary version here through the HoloLens. Or actually, I downloaded it before, but I needed to restart. When we started the stream, I needed to restart the Canary, but by using the Canary version. Canary has the hand tracking in there already. But you have the beta channel and such as well you can use. Also for all other platforms as well. So you can run Edge now on pretty much everywhere. Which means it just syncs your stuff through all the platforms. If you're using Edge. But this is using local, so that could be the issue. But I think it's just not working. But again, why didn't we get an error or warning when we set it? Local floor, unbounded floor. So local floor is everywhere. Unbounded. I think we should have unbounded, because technically we can walk from here to the US and down to Mexico and through Antarctica and back, and we still be tracking. Because it's optional. No. Hit test is required now. It's not optional. Or is it always optional? Or did it, was it? Now I don't know. Let's build. Still have the old, it didn't save the port we did before. Yeah, I don't want it to be optional because I need to place something on the floor. We can guess. If this doesn't work, we need to guess where the floor is. And we just say, well, it's 0, 0. That's the floor. You are about 170 high and the floor is a 0. That we can do that. But if we can do hit test, that would be so amazing. But I don't know. I don't know what features are there. I asked for a list or a place where I can view those, but it's not there. I did start this. I need to restart the server because I changed the port. There we go. We can also do it by hand and add the rest of the stuff by hand if you want to. For example, that reference space, which is kind of weird that it's not in there. Also, you said there was a hit test component. How do we use that? Do we need to just have something? No, it's here. Just on an object, but we need to have a mesh as well, otherwise we don't see it, I guess. So let's do a, why don't we have a, let's do a little sphere. A white sphere of okay, let's try this and see what will happen. Let's make sure we build. Let's try it out. We will see what's going on. Where's my music? Did I? Are we still doing things or? My music stopped and the screen is not casting anymore. But it says it is. Yeah, but I'm still there. So my head is still on the stream. If we see the desktop now, is it only the music or? So now we should have the desktop ready. Music is playing. Did I hit my microphone? Yes, that's the issue. That's just one of the things that happens sometimes. If I hit the mic, there's this connector that is just not really cool. Okay, we're back in business, so we should be able to still not see anything. There we go. Let me make sure I can. Wait. So the desktop is black now. Oh, the app crashed again. So this is an app from Microsoft. That little app. And we should be able to cast to there. I'm about to project. And we are projecting. Now this needs to go over there. Yes, I think we're okay now. We're back. Window is there. Let me go. I'm going to ask if I can add a voice command. Didn't open the debug tool. Oh, there we go. We're on the console. It's loading. Okay, let's go into AR. Okay, so now it says it doesn't support hit test. Thank you. That's what we wanted to know. Took us 20 minutes to figure out. I should have listened to you guys. So hit test is not working. Occlusion wasn't working. Let's try plane detection. It just crashes on the first one, but the order is different, probably. So I'm going to set it to plane detection. And now, because I changed the port, it refreshes automatically. There we go. Which saves a couple of gestures. I'm not sure why it keeps saying loading, but... we get there. VR is supported. Nope. Okay. Yeah, but there is... the screen share is taking so much... the screen sharing is getting so much... it's just taking up so much performance. It basically has to render twice and sends it over Wi-Fi. It's just bad. Taking videos, it is the screen sharing like this. For you're interested in the AR, yeah. There are a couple of LEDs flashing, LEDs flashing. That's correct. So it is using the cameras and the IR to scan the world and do the tracking and stuff. Okay, so anchors are working. No, let's leave it. Well, I don't think we need anchors yet. So a couple of things that I really hope Microsoft would add really soon is, I think the occlusion. If we could get an occlusion mesh, that would be the best thing. But now we just have to create a virus in front of us and then figure something out. We also have the hand tracking. So let's go and see what we can do with the hand tracking. Now I think I have the example still open somewhere here. What is the hit test example? But we should be pretty close to the hand tracking example. That was in proposals. Yes. There's a hand tracking component. You got to be kidding me. Add empty. Add hand tracking. Ooh. David, welcome. How are you doing? Let's do white. What's hand skin? So this is our left hand. Oh, you're on vacation this week. Oh, if you want to have a skin mesh. Well, I don't want to see the hands eventually. I don't want anything. I want to track the hands. I want to track things with the hands, but I don't want to show the hands because you can see your hands. The problem with so in VR, when you have hand tracking, you need to render a mesh or something to show your hands. But in mixed reality, you can see your own hands, so you don't need anything. It helps. It helps. That's something as well. It helps if you show the hands because. Hey, Rosie, that's not correct. Why are you showing the wrong message? The hand tracking can also be heavy. I'm not sure if it's heavy on the HoloLens because it's built in. Let me check why Rosie is doing things wrong. Project. Source code is working on a game for the Microsoft HoloLens. Maybe I just need to gently nudge her. Oh, did not render the hands. Yeah. So yeah, the tracking itself, rendering is a different one. So you always have a little bit of lag. When you move your hands around, you always have a little bit of lag, you see, and because it comes so close. It's really close to your face. And you notice the slightest delay. And when casting, it's even worse. But I wonder. So we have the hand tracking in here. If this works, if this works, we're basically done for today. I mean, we wanted to do the hand tracking. And we got it in. Is this reloaded already? I left the HoloLens running, so... Done. Thank you, Jonathan. Woohoo! Okay, but now comes the rest. Oh, this is so cool. Yeah, it is a bit lagging, but it is amazingly accurate. I'm not sure how it shows. Wait, I'm watching the screen, the backup stream. It's really slow. No, it's okay. On Handception, yes. So the thing is, on stream, they're off. And on the Maybe I can do it here as well. Yeah. On the casts, they seem to be like 2-3 centimeters off. On the HoloLens itself, they are not. But you have to take it from me. They are. It's right. It's like I can see the bones in my wrist. It is in there. It is a slightly bit laggy, but it is there. Okay. Now comes the fun part. Oh man. Ah. Damn it. Wires. Okay, so you don't need wires for the HoloLens. But I just want to have it constantly charging. There's also this half black transparent background when entering a WebXR session. Yes, that's probably there as well. That is not. You don't see that when you're wearing the HoloLens. So the capturing is not exactly capturing what I'm seeing. So there are ways of doing that. There's a special setup to what Microsoft itself are using when they demonstrate how the HoloLens looks. They use a DSLR with HoloLens attached to it to capture what the HoloLens is seeing. But it's the best I can do. But it's not when you wear the HoloLens. So I hope when COVID is over and we have another TwitchCon, we should all get together and just I bring the HoloLens so we can try it. I think we should just do that. Okay, now comes the funny part. We want to be able to touch things. We want to be able to interact. So now I have a question for Jonathan again. Are there colliders in there? Is there any way of tracking one joint? Can we say, well, when this joint or the end of this joint is touching something, there is grabbing. You have to copy the component. Okay, I will have a look at the components. See program files. One White Rabbit. Typing is hard. One engine. And there is JS components. These are the default components, and there's the hand tracking. So let's edit this one. We don't have skin. These are the joints. I think we can try and duplicate what the MRTK is doing. So when the distance between the index and the thumb is nothing, we basically have a pinch. So it is called is grabbing, but it's just it is the pinch gesture. So this is something we can use to, well, grab something or interact with something. This is basically on the HoloLens once. This was the click event. Source hand tracking. Now what I want to do is have a collider at the tip of your index. So basically at this position, I want to have a collider. And when that collider collides with anything, we have a touch interaction. Next, what I also want to do is track the wrist. But that might be difficult, more difficult to do. And I want to track the direction. That way, when I look at this side of my hand, but when I touch it, I want to have a menu pop up. Let me show you in MRTK what I mean. It's basically this. So you have your hand, you rotate it, and you get a menu. And then with the other hand, you can touch it. I don't want to have the pinch. I want to touch it. So we need to create a touch event. Now in the MRTK, there is a little touch or collider at the end of your index finger. So that's what we need to create. And we can do that. You know what? Let's do it the easy way. Let's close this. Go in here. Go in here. Let's add a new folder called JS. Let's add a new folder here. We call components. Let's go there and let's add a new component. And let's call this hand touch. Or finger touch. Index finger touch. Finger touch.js. We might need to add the folder here. No, add folder. COVIDmon.js. Components. Add. So let's open this. Now we should open VS Code in the right place. I think. Nope, we don't. If we do this, we have it. Done. So now we have JS finger touch. This is the component. Now we can have a look at this component since we kind of have a similar thing. We need to have the handedness. We call this finger touch. I mean, we need to know if it's left or the right hand. Let's copy the init as well. That's probably something we need to have as well. No, that's not the right window. What do we need to track? I think we need to track everything. So frame, get joint pose, get wrist. Okay, we need to have the wrist eventually as well. Get joint pose. So here it's running through all joints. So we could just say, well, we want to have the joint pose of that one joint. The index finger tip or something it's called, I guess. Index finger tip. The hand tracking sets the object in its statue to the wrist pose. Yes. Well, I think we might need to visualize it first. We're just going to add another type of sphere. Maybe we should add a joint material or a material, just so we can easily track. Just set a joint material so we can just render something there. Well, let's add a mesh as well. If we add a mesh, it makes things even easier if we want to show something. But just as for debugging, we might need to show something. I mean, you do have the collider visualization. So, yeah. If you don't know, there is collider visualization in the Wonderland engine. And you can use that. You can enable it in runtime here. And you can visualize the colliders. If there's a collider, it shows it there. And if we visualize a collider, we can see it in the tip. I think we're just going to copy everything and just don't use what we don't need. Is that start? Or let's start. Okay, let's do start first. Bloop. So if we don't have a hand, we warn and we exit. Now, I wonder if we can use this hand as well. Spawn joints. We don't use a skin, so we don't need to have that in there. We're not using joints, so I guess we don't have to spawn joints, except we have the tip collider. So we need to create an object, one, for that collider. And set a collider to it. Now I wonder... We'll figure it out as we go. So we need to have one. So we do a tip collider, but this is just global. We need to be able to reuse this. So we have a tip collider, which is a new object, which is parented to this. And then we say this tip collider, add component. We do a collision. Do let collision. We say collision dot. Oh, intelligence. I know that Jonathan knows all of this, but I just want to remember where to find it. Native components, collision. So we need to set these. We need to set the collider. I want to set the collider to... It doesn't really matter. It's going to be a very small piece. So if we do an X-line box, that's fine. So we can set the collider to that. Then we set the radius and the groups to 1, I guess. Spheres are the fastest. Okay. Can we do sphere? Was it? Or do we have the number? We need to have the fastest. We need to have the fastest. I don't want to compromise on performance with this one. We just need to check a very small... Oh yeah, that's right. There is a... what's it called? Ref... I didn't do the snippet, right? Crap. Let's add a snippet. Let's copy it from the other one and add a snippet. So one thing I'm a big fan of in VS Code is code snippets. Snippets. And we need to have a snippet for this one. So we do Control P, snippet. And we do our Wonderland code snippets. I really need to add a gist or something for this. This is our Wonderland script reference. We have a body. The body is pretty simple in this case. It doesn't like this because we need to escape these. There we go. Then we need to have a description. adds a reference to the deploy folder with the Wonderland script. And scope is JavaScript. So we can do other ones as well. If we have, for example, if we want to add something for the HTML, for example, we can add it here as well. And the prefix is WL. And then we do script reference. I don't care. Okay. Oh, it's the wrong project still, but it shouldn't matter. You need a snippet for snippets. I think you can do that. Maybe it's there. But there's IntelliSense, so... Okay, so now we need to have that reference. So the thing is, I can start typing WL, and I can have everything, every snippet I have is already in here, because I started with WL. And I can just... It is, like... kind of intelligent to what's it picking. So if I do script, I can just... If I want bool, I can just start typing bool. But if I show them here, they all group together in different ways. So that's kind of nice, I think. So let's do script reference. There we go. Now this construction, I think this is a standard JS components and then your components. So this will always work to there. But now we have a reference to Wonderland and we get some IntelliSense, hopefully. Because now it knows what a WL is. There we go. See? That helps. Ultisnips TextMate snippets has that. Oh. .commie, welcome. Yeah, I use the snippets all the time. I use them. I make them specially for demos. If I'm doing a demo on in presentation or something, I script everything out. I create code snippets for every step I need to take. I have a couple of A-frame ones. I lost all of them when I got a new computer. That's something you need to keep in mind when you get a new computer. So I lost all my helpful A-frame snippets. But we just started here, and look, we now have IntelliSense on the collider even. What do we need? Let's have a look at the... Oh, radius. We don't need Git Kraken. Go. We don't need it. I think this game will be on GitHub as well, but I haven't set it up yet. So we need to have the radius. I think it was radius, right? Isn't radius in the... Interesting. What's the size of your finger? 1 centimeter? Well, maybe we should make it a little bit bigger. 5 centimeters. Radius. What is... Well, let's test it out. See how it looks and how it works. What else do we need? We have a call... Let's check documentation. There's one more, I think. Oh, the group. Yeah, we need to have the groups. So collision.groups. So these are the groups we collide with. And this is... Radius doesn't exist. No clue why it's in there. Okay. Extend 0. But is there an X... Is it by default there, or... Well, we'll see. And we do one... Well, one. If we want to add more, for example, if we want to have 2 as well, we can do... this one. We can add them in a similar way. So I just write it like this from the start. There's a little bit of bit shifting. Okay. So now we should have a collider on the tip of your finger. Okay, we don't need the rest, so now we are going here. If we are not in an XR, if we are not in an XR session, if this not this is session, what's this? Set up VR event WXR session. Oh, yes. That way. Let me really grab some water. There we go. I haven't seen this construction with this session before. Is it something? Okay, yeah, we need that. It's for the session to track the reference space. Which is actually pretty funny. Because this is checking the local reference space. We could use a different reference space. There is no radius for the tips of the fingers. Huh? Yes, you are right, but the collider needs to have a reference. Well, it worked, so we're just going to use this as well. So we have the session here, so if there's no session, we just set up the events and we get the reference space and we bind it to this, so this should work. Now this radius is purely for having an area for the collider. And once we have this one, we're going to add another component where we track the direction of the hand. If we to just say, well, we're looking at the front or the back of the hand. Okay, so now we are here. So now we need to figure out what we're looking at. This is, so the hand pose is false. What's this used for? Hand pose is true. Oh, so if we have a hand pose, we go here and we set it to true. What is this used for? Is this for tracking or? Maybe we can use it from the outside. If we just look at the hand, we know it has a pose. I don't think we need it. So if we have a session, this one we do need. Or do we need to have a pose to track? We can track the hand if it has a pose. Because this is going to go on the same hand, or the same thing. I guess this should be fine. Famous last words. Okay. We go to the input sources. We go through the input sources to get the hand we have. So if it's not an input source, we don't have an input source, or if it's not a hand, Or if the handedness is not our handedness, we continue. Otherwise, we apparently reached the point where we have access to our hand. And the left or the right hand, just the one we wanted to have. Okay. So here it's taking the pose from the wrist. Now, is this being used? Now I wonder, there is just one thing I'm not sure, and I don't see it work. So they are all parented to this object. Okay, so I think they're just they are not, they show as a almost a tree of elements, but they are not a tree. It's just a list of stuff. They're not related to each other. It's not that you need to go through every step, through every little joint to get the rotation right. So I think it's just at this location at that point. So if we rotate and translate the hand correctly, the wrist correctly, then we can figure out we only need to take the tip of your index finger and we're okay, I think. So we need to have this one. Because this is setting the orientation of the entire object. On the other hand, we have it set up already on an object. But it shouldn't really matter. Let's better be safe than sorry. And now it's going through all the joints. But we don't need all the joints. We just need one. So I'm just going to copy this. Clever Dina, thank you very much for the follow. And welcome. Let's go in here. So we only need to have one joint. So the joint we need is the index tip, which is index finger tip. And if we don't have one, we continue. Otherwise, we go in here. We don't have a skin. So I'm just going to remove it. I don't need it. Now we don't have joints either. I forgot. This joint is the tip collider. So we just say tip collider. If it's null, we continue. I'm not sure how it could be null, but well, let's leave it. So now we have a joint, which was the tip collider. We get the pose, which is fine. If it has a pose, transform. But I don't care about the orientation, I think. And I don't care about the radius, and I don't care about the scale, because it's just a collider we are moving. So I think we don't need this. This is doing the orientation, and this is the position. So I don't think we need this. We only need to have the position. So technically, this should be it. So if we go to the left hand, Or should we add another tip collider as another object? We don't need to have it rendered there, so let's do a different object. So let's try and do left hand tip. Left hand tip. Let's add the finger touch. Save. Handedness left. Oh, let's make sure the visualize colliders is on. You know what? I'm going to add it to the right hand as in here. I'm just wondering if it works that way. So now we have both. Maybe we notice a difference in anything. Okay, let's make sure we repackage. Now the only way to test this is on the HoloLens. So let's switch back to the HoloLens. Hopefully the battery isn't dead yet. That would be bad. Okay, so it's not connected wirelessly anymore. So let's do that first. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Ah, my browser window is still here. You know, when I'm developing, I often don't take the HoloLens off anymore. Okay, there we have the dev tools. I just have a window over here. Oh wait, what happened there? I just have a window over here. Okay, it's really, really slow. I'm not sure why. Anyway. We have the finger touch there. So let's go into AR. And let's see what happens. Do we have a collider? We don't. Or it's smaller than the joints. That's also a possibility. Now we don't have arrows, so that's a nice thing. And we don't have, so maybe it's inside it or something. I don't know, maybe I forgot something. Maybe visualization is turned off for some reason. Okay. So what if we just add a collision right here? Let's do a box. Just add a collider there so we can see if we have collisions. Oh, and what I also want to do is well, I can just deactivate these. Then we should have only a collider at the tip of our fingers if it's working, I guess. So let's go back to here. Wait. Make sure it's refreshed. It's so slow when casting. It's so weird. I don't know why. Oh, we have an error there. Exception during hand tracking. Start of object left hand cannot be property index of null. Mesh component. Oh, we're doing something with a mesh apparently. So now we have errors. Let's go have a quick look at the code. Is there a mesh? No, there's no mesh. What's the error? Oh, we do need a mesh. Yeah, so the deactivate didn't work. Let's just delete it. This is the finger touch, so we can just delete the entire left hand and call this left hand. Now we have only a left hand and a right hand. Finger touch, finger touch. Okay, it's loading. I do like that the auto refreshes works over the Wi-Fi as well. Okay, components are loaded. We don't see the visualization. So let me check. It's not on. So for some reason the collider visualization is not working. Let me check if it's working locally here. We should have this. We should see this. Oh, you can't. It's funny. I wear the HoloLens and we are looking to the HoloLens, but we can see the real screen, which is pretty funny. It's reloading again. Let's check AR anyway. Maybe it's showing there. It's weird that it's not showing remotely. We don't get errors. We don't get errors, which is pretty cool. I think we need to just see. We can just add a mesh to see if it works. Or it's weird that the visualization is not working. I don't get it. Let's do a full refresh. It will be so much easier if we can visualize it. Mesh visualizer, loading JS components. It's just not showing. But we can check. We can check if we can touch something. Yeah. Now Rosie needs to stop talking about a light. The light isn't working. Oh. Close up of my desk. Yeah, maybe it's just something technical. Now what we can do is see if we can create an interaction with this. So we update the joint. Now we do have, or do have the tip collider. We update the tip collider. No, it's collision. We have an on collision. Oh, that's physics. That's physics. But what if we just do we update here and we say, let's make this globally. Now we have a globally available collision. What if we just add a let's remove this. What if we add this here and we say this is query overlaps. And this returns any overlaps. So if we do this with another group on one, let overlaps. What's this? And for now, if overlaps length is bigger than 0, we just do a console log touch. So now when I would touch anything on group 1. Oh, that's weird. I've seen a lot of crashes with Wonderland, but I haven't seen this one. We lost the editor, but we didn't lose the console. Uh-oh. So, just to note, this is not the fully released version yet. So we are on 0.83. There are some issues every now and then, which is just what happens when you're working with non-completed issues. Okay, so this is just colliding on every place. So let's add a sphere. So we are absolutely sure it's a sphere. Now, if we get, maybe we should make it a little bit smaller. Let's make it a bit smaller, so it's kinda around 0.25, 0.2. Well, if it's 0.2. Okay, so now we need to, I need to stand up and walk over to the sphere and to test it, but I think we can do that. So if I touch this one, even Visual Studio Code is gone. What the heck? Did I close it or did it crash? I have not seen that before. Now I need to check the stream back. So if we have an overlap with any collision, so we basically have a collision, we'll just log touch. Next, we can do something like this, what this is doing, where we just say a function, and we can just check from someplace else if we have something, or we set something to true, or you are right, David. Which is basically a stream is just one big live demo. Things happen during streams that don't happen anytime else, and often you can fix them right after the stream. So I often end the stream and I'm tired. It's like 12:30 or something, midnight, 12:30 when I end the stream. And then I'm like, And it's not uncommon that I would spend another half an hour fixing a bug I had on stream. Just because then somehow you just come into another mindset. Well, the great thing is, any bug that's happening during the stream is recorded. So you always have a way of looking back on the steps you did to create an issue. Which is, well, every developer knows that that is an issue. Then you have testers that are testing it all day. You get a big list, and 75% of the message you get back from a test just, it didn't work. Yeah, okay. Why? I got an error and it broke. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I wish the people that were using our HoloLens apps, the testers, would just record something. But the difficulty is, when you record something on the HoloLens, you see when I'm casting, it is slow, it is laggy, it just really demanding on the device. So when you're using the HoloLens without casting, it works better. So we don't want to have the testers record anything, because that just ruins the experience a little bit. But even just having an external video on a tester would just help so much. And when someone within the company has an error, we just say, yeah, okay, do it again, recreate it, and record it. So then we can see what's happening, what they're doing. And often it's just like, oh, that we missed something. Or we just, yeah, you had to press that button first and then it works. Little things. Let's see if we can touch that thing. So we have a connection timeout. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's because it crashed. Do we have the right port still? Yes, so this should work. Need to. You mean me? Do it again, this time with feeling. Yes. You need to get into it. You need to really... Okay, we still don't see the things yet. Oh. So this is something that happens occasionally. I just didn't figure out. So it got a session, but it didn't switch, which is weird. I also have issues where it just loses connection with the underlying engine and it stops just doing any kind of experience anymore. You cannot do anything again. Why is it not switching? Just a touch. Let's do a distant click. Yeah, so now it says it has already a session. Could we? I'm using a. Oh, we have a new message. Fake path. I think we need to restart the browser. So we're running on a on the Canary version, so it's just buggy as hell. Let's. Oh, what was the URL? It's. Can we close this? Can we do this? Let's touch that one. It's so slow. It's. Oh, I didn't say close. Damn it. I didn't say close. I didn't say it. I really did not say it. Move. Huh. It doesn't want to move. Okay, let's go here. Oh, it's 0. We can do a long touch. Yes. Let's close the keyboard. Let's pick the right one. It's loading. Oh, we need to have the developer tools as well. Oh, they so need to add a simple way of opening that dev tools. I just want to say open dev tools. To see if I can maybe just do a distance. Yes, we can do that. But it's pretty cool. You can, if you just move your hand away, you can just. Oh crap! I lost it. Damn it! Now it's all the way over there. Shit. I will leave it. We have to go there anyway. Yes, you can do shortcuts with the Bluetooth keyboard. Okay, so I need to detach. Walk over there. So hopefully this should collide. Windows over here. Let's do this. Yes, you come with me. Sorry. Such weird problems. But it worked. We have touch. 227 times I touched it. So that's pretty much, but that's probably because it's checking every frame. If we have a touch, and we have a touch again, and we have a touch again. So I think we need to check if we go into a touch and go out of a touch. But it freaking works. It freaking works. Okay, so I am... Your mind is going crazy. I was watching from my window now. Where's my window gone? But I just put the HoloLens down. You just... Never mind. Never mind. It's... I was looking for my window. But... The only downside is... So... I always get excited and warm and when streaming. But then when you're wearing the HoloLens all the time, you get a really sweaty forehead. Oh my goodness, it works. It just works. That is so cool. Now, we don't know how big this is because we didn't see it yet. Hopefully the visualization will go up. But if we have a touch, what are we going to do with this? We can do this is touching, is false, or is empty. We want to know what we are touching, but then we need to update it. Do we care what we touch? Yeah, we can do both. Touching objects is an empty array. We can do both. We just store the objects. So we are checking the collision every single frame. I'm not sure what that will do for the performance. I mean, we don't have to check them every frame. Although it is our hand, so totally doesn't matter. Okay, we check them every frame. Okay, we check them every frame. If it doesn't matter, I am... Okay, so now we're storing it in this touch objects. So we can always go from the outside from any other place. We can check, okay, we have our touch object. Are we touching something? And we can say if the length is bigger than 0, no, I don't think we put 2000 colliders. We need to have a few because we want to be able to basically select things from a menu. To press a button, for example. Well, David, thank you so much for hanging out. And have a great rest of your vacation, I think. Right? If I recall correctly. Yes. Very cool of you to spend your vacation here. That's very nice. Have a great one. So if it's bigger than 0, apparently we're touching some object. So we do this is touching, it's equal to true. You know what? We can even do this and don't have the if. So if we are touching something, this is true, and otherwise it's false. So now we can just see if we touch something with our fingertip. Okay, now we need to do something if we touch something, right? Or we can go to the next one and do the menu or something like that. Let's try that. Because we only need to have the wrist for that. And we do have the wrist and the orientation of the wrist. If there are no hands detected, is touching should be false. That is true. You are absolutely right. That's a nice one. But object, we should clear objects as well. So we should do both. This doesn't change if there is nothing. But if we don't have hands, so if we have this case, we should clear this array and say false. So if we lose tracking of our hands, so if we just put our hands away, we just clear it. You don't think it should be there? Why not? This is if we have an input source, if we don't have a hand. We can also do it here, but this is only the joint. If we get here, we already have an input source. If we don't have any hand tracking, it's basically when we lose the hand tracking. You should check there for the handedness. There is handedness here. Because we can lose one hand or the other. It might happen after the current hand. I'm not sure what you mean. So, in this case, we only care about the right hand. Oh, this is not working. No, you are right. This is not correct. You are right. You are right. Yes. You are absolutely right. Let me explain what I didn't. So this is just running through all the input sources. So we do have the right hand. So if the input source is the correct hand, was the correct hand. Ooh, this is difficult. I think it might be this case. We lose the joint or we lose the hand pose. So we cannot get the joint. So it's basically an else of this or the else of this one. If we go here, I think it's the else here. The has hand that you deleted on the start. This one. But that means that after this, we need to check if we got through this. We can do that. But wouldn't that be... yeah, well, I think we can do that. But you... this has pose is false. We have this pose is false. And then in here we have this pose is true. So now we go all the way through here. And if in this case, I think it's here. Yes. If this, if not this has pose. Apparently, we checked everything and we lost the hand. Okay, I think we're going to add another component. And that is basically only interested in this part. Because that's for the menu. Basically the same script. New script. Edit. Oh, we need to rename it as well. Let's rename it first. Yeah, I'm thinking about how this is going to work. Because we can do it in two ways. We can have a script that enables another object or activates another object when it is facing you from the hand. So what we basically need to do is check the normal of the hand. So we have the wrist, and we just need to check that in that direction. And if that is pointing towards you, we need to show the menu, and if it's pointing away, we don't show the menu. And that way, when you rotate your hand, at that point we start showing the menu. And we can do that. But are we just going to track direction and then show something else? I think that's the easiest way. Let's create the menu first, because, or part of it. So I want to have a new empty. This one. This is the hand menu. So hand tracking is done before. Is a hand menu done before? That's something I don't know for sure in web. What's this? Oh, this is something I really like. Apparently I got gifted a sub on a channel I don't know. Huh. Always funny when that happens. How do we call this? Also, there's the MRTK port to WebXR, yes, but that's in Unity, right? That is not the JavaScript. I don't think there is a JavaScript version that does a poll menu. It doesn't matter. There is no script. Rufus, oh. Okay. But there's no one. That's the MRTK one. Oh. Oh, yeah, I know. Node.js. But there's no menu in Wonderland. That's something I know for sure. Now I do wonder if I add a mesh here. Let's do a plane with a white material. Oh, let's do a yellow material. Because this is going to be way too big. So we need to make this pretty small. Let's do a 20 by 20 thing. We need to add some text to this as well. Add object text. And let's make this demo. I did because the is zooming in. Let's make this a bit bigger. Let's make this a little bit in the front. So we have some depth. Let's scale it up a little bit. Let's do 4 by 4 demo. Let's see how far is this in front of it. Let's do a bit more. You know what? Let's create a new material. View. We do resources, materials, create, and let's do blue. Why? Because blue works very well on the HoloLens. And let's pick a nice blue. Okay. Now we go here. Oh, wait. Wrong color. Well, it doesn't really matter. Now it's blue. Also, this should not be affected by light. So maybe we should just do flat. And make it blue. I don't care about light in this case. I just want to have a blue with demo. And the demo is a bit in front of it. Now the question is, can I show and hide this object? Let's do rename. Let's do rename. Let's do hand menu.js. Let's call this hand menu. And let's start by copying pretty much everything that's in here. Let's add the script reference. And we don't need touching stuff. We don't have the collider in here. Let's keep the pose, and I don't care about the fingers anymore. I don't care about if it's touching or not. Right now, step 1, I'll leave it like this. Then we know it's working. And the next step will be hiding it if the orientation is pointing away from you. So we probably can figure out some simple vector function we can use to check the orientation. It's basically the same as backface calling. It's just checking the normal. of a plane. I hope that we can check the normal of a plane in Wonderland. Let's add this to our hand. Hand menu. There we go. Hand is on the left. That's fine. Now the pivot is over here. So what I want to do is move this a little bit over there, so it's next to the hand. You have to get forwards. Yes. Yeah. That was I was thinking as well. And then we get a positive value or a negative value. And if it's negative, then we need to hide it or something, or the other way around. Okay, so now I move this pivot out of the way of the hand menu. So your hand should be over here, and the demo should be next to your hand. Now, this is probably way too big, but we'll see. I hope it is attached to the hand now. That would be really funny and really cool. Let's check it out. Let's make sure it's reloaded. Let's wait a second. Okay. Let's go into our AR. Again, it didn't load in AR, which is bad. It's probably triggered, but for some reason it didn't start. We probably get the same error again. Yeah. Now this is something with the editor, I think. Or the casting, that's also. Oh, it remembered where we were. I think it's so cool. Didn't I thought I said enter? There we go. The great thing is, if we can get these things out of the way with creating the interaction, the palm menu, we only have to spawn things and add a game around it. Okay, so we're gonna go into AR now. So it's weird. It's weird. I really feel something is wrong, but I don't know what. I don't know what is wrong. It is slow. Toggle DevTools. Show DevTools. Doesn't work. Too bad. Hey, Rosie. Can you show the DevTools? Nope. Even Rosie can show the DevTools. Hey, Rosie. Can you say hi? So for some reason we cannot go into AR anymore. Let me quickly check. Let me quickly check if it's the... Okay, it is the remote. So I disabled the casting, and it immediately switched. It immediately switched to XR. Oh crap! Okay, I need to show this. I screwed it up. I accidentally changed. So yeah, this is my window now. It is all the way over here. I accidentally made it bigger. I can only make it bigger. There we go. Now it switches. It doesn't show that object on the hand. Hand is left. Maybe it's too big and it's just a meter out of the way. No, I don't think you can help. I'm checking the finger, right? Now I'm checking the wrist. I'm checking the wrist only. And then checking the object itself. So this should rotate and move the object itself. Let's try something to make sure. If we go here, the hand menu, we add a mesh. Just to test it out, we do a cube. We do a pink cube. This is a meter by a meter, so let's scale this down to 0.2. This scales down everything. I'm not sure what happens here. That's weird. It changed color. Huh? Huh. It was just me. Okay, so now I should have a cube on my wrist. Are we still? Yes, we are still there. The UI should be paired to the... Oh! Yeah. That might be the case. Yes, I think that's the issue. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. Okay, so now it's parented to the player. So now we should have an object on my wrist. Somehow got stuck. It is so incredibly slow now. It just doesn't switch to AR when I'm casting. So let me try. This doesn't want to. It is so much faster when it's not. Panther, thank you very much for hanging out and helping out. Have a good night of sleep. Can we go into AR now? Refresh one more time. It's so fast now. Okay, now it doesn't even want to go into AR anymore. Let's see if we can have an. Oh, there we go. It's just really slow. Okay, so you have to trust me on this. There was an object on my wrist there. A big pink cube. So if we delete this and we set this back to 1, 1, 1, save. Let's build. It's too bad. It's too bad I cannot show it that way, that easy. I refreshed. I go to refresh the browser, and if it works, I'm going to switch back to casting mode again. Well, Chris, again, thank you very much for helping out. Really appreciate it. Yeah, when it's not in XR, not casting, it's so much faster. Doesn't show anything anymore. What the heck? Now it doesn't render anything. Oh, yeah. That would be so cool. Why is there a white dot? I sometimes just don't get why it's not working. Well, Squares Games, have a good night. I will talk to you again soon. I will switch back to casting mode in a second. Here we go. Casting mode. Oh crap, I cannot switch to casting mode while in AR. There we go. Can we go into AR now? Yes. So this is what we have. We have nothing anymore. What the heck? Oh, here it is. It just lost. So the menu is over here, but it somehow loses tracking. I don't get it. It just... There it is. It might be errored out because I left the scene in a weird way. So you probably need to change the orientation of the menu by default. Okay, so now we have that. And now you see we have demo here. And if I move my hand around, we don't even see the back. So, but it's not really stable. One, it's on the wrong side of my hand. But we can fix that. So we need to flip it around. We need to make it way, way, way smaller. It should be the size of your hand eventually. This is like 20 centimeters, 30 centimeters. We need to rotate it back, or front actually, and to the other side of the hand. Okay. Let me... exit there. Oh man, this is so cool. Okay, so we have an orientation here, which is odd. That's because the player is oriented somehow. It's the same orientation as the player. But this mesh, we said it need to flip to the other side of the hand. I'm going to add a little mesh here for a second. We kind of need to have a way of adding objects that are visual in scene, but not in the actual export, like a gizmo, like what we see here, but it should stay there. Could be a plane or whatever. So when we look at the hand, we saw it differently. When I had my hand out, I need to go down. So we need to so this plane was going back, so we need to... oh crap. We need to rotate this mesh. $90 that angle, I think. And it was on the wrong side of the hand, but that means the hand is there. So we need to rotate it 180 degrees that way. And the hand is over there. So we need to move it over there. And it was way too big. I think it needs to go a little bit that way. Okay. Let's test this. Yeah, let's test it in XR. We are still casting, so should be able to refresh now. Move this up a little bit and forget it. There we go. Should be fine. Can we go into AR now again? Yes, we can. Stuff is there. We see demo there. So we kind of need to... so when we do this, we need to flip it around again. we need to rotate it just from the top 180 degrees. So if we do this, it was 150, not 30 degrees. Okay, Control P. It's reloading. Okay, there we are. Let's go into AR mode. There we go. It's not really hiding, it's still there. So we need to hide it, but it's kind of... Okay, it's a bit too far off. So 0, 0 is right there. Apparently we can... Oh yeah, now I press my palm menu. So it needs about halfway closer and a little bit more up. And it can be half as small. Yeah, like, well, maybe 2/3. Demo square, yes, but this is actually going to be a palm menu because I want to be able to touch it with the other hand. This is actually a button, but it needs to be closer to your hand and a bit up. So we can go, let's go into this. Where is it? Now it's on the other side. So there it is. And the hand menu is, the hand is over there. So how far is this out? Like 20 centimeters. So let's do 0.1. And it should be smaller. So let's do... And also, it needs to move a little bit into that direction. Minus 0.1, 0.5 maybe. Okay. Let's switch back to the HoloLens. It kind of does something when it reloads. Okay, here we go. Let's go into AR again. We lost the sound, by the way, again. Yes. This is kind of how it should work. Now we need to figure out a way to touch it. This is so cool. Let's add another one right above it. I want to have 2 or 3 of those buttons. So this is a button. Actually, we need to add a empty mesh. This is going to be the back plate. And that's going to be nested there. Now we need to change a few things. So this is going to be related to the backplate. The backplate is going to be on that position. So it's -1 and -0.5. Minus 0.1 and minus 0.5. Now this can go back to the reset translation. So now there is a backplate in between here. We can add another mesh. Let's do a primitive plane. Let's do a blue again. We need to copy the rotation, so it's -707 and 707. -7, 707 and 707. No. minus 0.707. There we go. Now we have this one wrong, so we need to reset the rotation of this one. And the backplate needs to be smaller, which is tough because then we scale everything down. So actually, this should be called menu container without the primitive. Okay, and now we can do add object mesh, and this is the backplate. Material blue mesh plane. Now this is way too big, but this is the same orientation, so now we can just make this smaller. So 0.4, no, 0.04, and we do 0.04, 8, well, 0.12. Is this 3 buttons? Yes. Now this backplate, so we have this button, this backplate should be just a tiny bit to the back. And maybe we should make this a Fung material anyway. Actually, we should have a light attached to the player. Can we do that? Can we just say, well, we have this light. What if we just add it here? So my head, I just want to be, so my head is giving light now. Hand menu position is just being changed, doesn't matter. I even don't, let's test it first, but I don't think the whole orientation matters at all. Let's do button. This is actually 2, it's the middle one. Can we get close enough? Now this is the light, it's just a bit in the way, but I don't think even the position matters much. Is this off now, or is this the perspective? Oh, it's off. Let's duplicate button 2. So we have a button there, which is 3. And we have a button there, which is 1. So this is button 1. And this is button 3. Okay, Control Shift P. Let's check it out in XR. Let's wait a second for it to reload. Okay, let's go into AR. It's way too big. It should be, well, max like the two top buttons. It could be way more subtle. So for one, the backplate should go back a tiny bit. Oh, this is back. So we have a couple of layers. But the backplate, let me check. I'll figure it out later. I think the MRTK loses way smaller buttons. Like something like this. Point 0 12. Okay. And then the backplate. Well, even the buttons should be... no, I think the topmost button was okay. I'm just eyeballing it. And now the backplate. Just a bit bigger than that, and this one is going to be 0.06. Yeah, but it needs to go up, which is fine. Yeah, it's not 0.6, it's 0.4 maybe. 2. Let's try this. Let's change the text. So we have demo. This is demo 2. Eventually, we need to do something with the buttons. And then it's nice to know. This is 2. This is 1. Huh? This is 1. There we go. Okay, let's build. And let's go to the HoloLens and check it out. It is restarting. It's taking its time to do the restarting. What time is it? Oh, it's midnight already. Let's go into AR. It's a bit small, but it's... Three layers. You cannot really see the depth because it's just in there, but... Okay, next up is adding a little bit of interaction with those. How can we do that? Let me quickly think if we can figure something out. We need to... Maybe we can tell the button that it's being touched. So what if we just add a touch receiver script? But then how we know we do something with it? Oh, I think it is a great way of doing interaction, because there is nothing you can do an attached like heads up display, but it doesn't really work. And that hand flip thing it is amazing. It works like a charm, but you have to keep it small. It has to be But you have to, the MRTK really look into it. So if you want to know how to do it, you should look at that. The mixed reality toolkit. They just know how to do it. A wristwatch, yeah. Well, on the HoloLens, you already have that button there. You can do it on the other side as well. Wait. I just realized something. Let's have a look at a couple of photos from Ash. No, I was thinking maybe he had something on his hand or wrist, but he had just gloves. And he's just always having a Pokeball in his hand. Ben 10. Yeah, Ben 10. Oh, Ben 10 has that big wrist where he can... Yeah. We can do a Ben 10 game as well. It would be pretty cool to have, like, something big on your wrist. The problem is, Ben 10, it changes into the characters, into the aliens. And that's kind of hard to do when you are the alien. That might work in VR. You just change shape and you get different hands. Maybe you can make the hands even bigger. And your arms bigger, and you stand up. You really feel, you just shrink down everything around you in VR, and you become bigger. Or smaller, and you scale everything up. And then even your hands just stay the same, so your hands feel bigger and more powerful. I think you can do that. You don't have to be, you just have to have the arms. Be Ant-Man. Oh, that would be so cool. Yeah, you can do that with everything. What's that bee? Is that Marvel as well? Marvel B. Or is that DC? B. Girl. This one. I don't know her name. What's her name? Wasp, yes. Bee girl. Bumblebee. Bumblebee. I think we could do a Bumblebee game. That would be fun. I'm going to add that to my list of games to build. So made reveals wrist button fluctuate is local scale. Oh, nice. That was for the... Did you do that for the Manifest Game Jam? How can we interact? We need to have an interaction thing here. Oh, I will check out the game. I haven't played any of the Manifest games yet. I will check it out. So let's do an... rename interactable.js. This is a very simple component, but it's like the bridge. So interactable. It has nothing. And we have an interact, which is a function. And in here we say this dot on interact is equal to null. And in here we say if this on interact, then this on interact, and we call this. Or object is object. No. Let's do it more complex. We have, because we interact with something else. So this is a source. So we pass a source. And we pass this. Okay, so now we have an interactable component. And we can add, we have this button, we do the interactable component. Or is it interactable? And this is just the bridge. Let's add that to the other buttons as well. Where is it? Am I stupid? Interactable, it's just the end. And this is interactable. Mine is just WebXR, so nothing to install. Well, mine is WebXR as well. I did Wonderland. Is this my first attempt at a game to finish a game in Wonderland? It's not finished yet, but it is. There's a lot of stuff to explore, and I'm kind of happy how it turned out. But it's not completely done. The basic gameplay did not work as intended. So it's not Wonderland related that it didn't work, but it's just yeah. So now we have the interactable on the buttons. So what we can do now is only touch the interactables, or if we touch for the first time. So if we are touching, so let touch is, oh wait, yeah, we can do that both. We can do it. So if this is touching, not if we're not touching. So we were not touching anything before. And we're touching something now. We set touching to true. But we also run through all of these. Let's do I is touching object length. And we say, well, these objects get component interactable. Let inter. There we go. If there is an interactable, we do inter dot interact this. So now we run to the object we're touching. So if we were not touching, so this way we prevent like having a million times this call. So we need to touch something, and as long as we're touching, we don't call it again. Now there is one little issue. If we go from one collider to another collider, we are still in the same touch sequence. So although the touching objects change, we don't send a touch event again, which is a small issue, but it's there. But now we call interact on the interactable, and that's calling the on interact. So now we can just listen. We can add another script to this, but we don't have to call into any random script again. So let's add a button. Let's add a generate random thing component. Just add something. Rename random object.js. And let's keep a naming convention or something. Let's rename the right object random object.js. Let's go in here. Let's do a random object. Well, it's not really a random object because I do an object. We reference an object and we're going to place that somewhere. So this is the obj. And that's what we're going to place somewhere. So we reference it. No, this is the mesh. Is that the thing? Crap. There we go. I think we need to do type mesh. Yeah. I want a mesh. And a material. Okay. And then we do init. Let me say this object. Oh, let's add the script reference. This object get component. And now we do the interactable again. But this time we're going to listen to that other thing. So we do const inter equals that. And we say inter dot it was called on interact. Maybe we should do this on start. Is a function, or we can do this handle interact bind this, and now we say here we do handle interacts, which is a function, and this is going to get the source and the interactable. Probably don't need it, but... And now we say wl dot scene add object. And we just drop it in the scene, I don't care. So this is the let obj, the object we create. Then we do obj add component. I want to add a mesh. Let m is this. We do m dot mesh is equal to this data mesh, or not data, this mesh. And we do m material is this material. This is a material. So now we create an object with a mesh material, and now we need to give it a location. So we do obj. Let's do a scale first. Let's do a 0.2. Let's do a cube. And let's do obj. And let's do a set translation world. We give this an array as well, and we do math random. And we multiply this by 2, and we subtract a meter. So it's a meter in 2 directions. I want this to be, it's 0.2, so let's do half a meter up in the air. Or maybe we can do math.random. So this is 0 to 1, and we do plus. So this is 0, this is now a half until a meter and a half. And that's random as well. So this gives the random location anywhere in the world. Okay, cool. So now we go to button 1, and we set add component, and we do random object. Now we need to give this a mesh. So let's just, can we do primitive cube? We can do a primitive cube. And we give this a material, let's do blue as well. So now this places a blue cube somewhere in the world. Uninteractable. I guess. I'm not entirely sure, but if this works, it is so cool. Okay. Let's reload this. My cable is stuck. I'm not sure if it's working. Maybe. Oh, it's loading. It just slow again. There we go. And now it's reloading again. That's the second reload I did. I should be patient. So I'm not the most patient person in the room. Well, in the room I am, but I'm not the most patient person. I forgot something. There was no collider on the thing. We need to have a collision here. On one. Let's do box. This is a bit big now. 0.012. Oh. 0.012. 0.012. 0.012. So now there is a little. It's hard to navigate, but there's a little cube here now. Maybe. Is it this one? 0.005. Yes. Okay, so now there's a collider on that box. I think it triggered a refresh already. What a boring song. Oh, we're there yet? So let's go into AR. Please? Okay, let me end the... See if it works. We quickly check if there's no errors. It looks like the resolution and the performance are so much better when you're not casting. It's not fair. Well, and then it's even slow. Today. Can we go into AR now? Oh, there's the DevTools. We have 9 errors. So we have an error somewhere. Maybe we can check this browser, because we should not have errors here at all. If we have a real error. No, we don't have real errors. Let me start the cast again. There we go. Let's go into AR, please. Oh, it was already active, so we need to restart again. Oh, this is so slow. We really need to have a way of doing the remote debugging. Just having this screen on another window where we can keep it. So if we refresh, it should not update. So it's almost there. Okay. Let's go into AR mode. There we go. Please do it, damn it. Okay, let's restart the browser again. So yeah, we're working on the Canary version, so it is not that stable. But I need to give some feedback on this. Why is it keeping that search query? Okay, I only have a type C, so that's pretty. That's convenient. They only have a type C to get to that URL now. It learned. Is it still running? Yes, I think it is. So we are not throwing Pokeballs yet, but we made quite a lot of progress today. I'm so excited with what we did. I think it's getting laggier and laggier over time, and slower and slower. Maybe we have a task manager. Show task manager. Open task manager. But not. Let's see if we can go to AR. I think it's just a browser that's not working. Crap. Let me try one more time without the cast. Let me try one more time. Just the touch doesn't. Okay, I'm going to try one more thing. It takes a few minutes or a few seconds, but I'm going to restart the HoloLens for a second. Wait, did I not press it correctly? Yes. It's so slow. Even the restart took a while. Oh, let's shut down, I guess. Hmm. Okay. Um. So yeah, it's rebooting. I'm seeing the start menu. Here we go. It connected again to my PC. So hopefully it's faster now. And then there could be just that there's like a memory leak in there. It's just I'm running the insider's version of Windows. I'm running the Canary version of Edge. I'm running a unreleased version or not V1 version of Wonderland. So it's all living on the edge. So let's restart this really quickly. And let's see if we can cast again. So let's go to this window. It's connecting. Should come up any second. And there we go. Let's go in here. Oh, we have sounds again. That's nice. Let's go here. We should have done this way earlier. It's still slow, but it feels way faster than it was before. Okay, let's see if we can go into AR now. Yes. Okay. Ooh. Sounds. So we have that. We have our menu. Don't know if we have cubes spawning somewhere. We'll expect to see some. Although, I think I made a mistake here. I ought to use them both. Yes, the finger touch are on both hands. Where's 0, 0? Well, it is right in my head. So if they're spawning at 0, 0, they should be right. 0, 0 is down there. So if they spawn at 0, 0, it should be down there. So I don't think they're working. So let's exit. Maybe we have an error. That's also possible. Oh, it is so much fast. I should have rebooted an hour ago, 2 hours ago. It's even slow still. When you're not casting or not just working, it's so fast. Oh my god, it's getting late. So yeah. We need to also visualize that we press the buttons. This will be a tough one. Is the console showing? Yeah, I'm trying to get it open, but it just... I'm going to stop the sharing again. Just to see if that saves some time on opening. I thought I opened the inspector. There we go. If we have errors, we probably can fix it easily. Yes. Exception during finger touch update is on object granted. Touching objects. Let's go get component. Oh crap. I think I know what it is. We are running through the objects and we need to get the eye. So hopefully this is it. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, by the way. So let's go into Wonderland. We crashed Wonderland. Still on the right port. Save. We did. Nice. Okay, let's go into run mode so we know it's running. Okay. Let me try and share my screen or my view, my HoloLens view one more time. Let's leave this open. Oh, let's move this window a little bit over there. So you should be able to see the screen now. Let's refresh. You see how fast it's reloading right now. Let's go into AR. I don't see any cubes anywhere. So we could have errors. So we need to refresh this. We have errors. It's not a function. Okay. Touching objects is not a function. Apparently there's something weird. But I've used the same thing in the previous game as well for the manifest. So I think. Overlaps dot object. Oh, we need to do the dot object first. Okay, almost there. Almost there. We're getting there. Oh crap! Let me share. Let me share the normal view of my desktop. I want to finish this. Damn it. Touching objects dot index dot object get component. Oh, this should be it. Now we should have it. It refreshes. Let's go into the HoloLens again. Let's refresh this one. So on the 21st of April, I'm doing a talk on the global XR community. And I'm going to build a game or show a lot of stuff on game building for the HoloLens, on WebXR for the HoloLens. In about an hour. And it will be cool if we just have a lot of components which you can just drop in and really impress everyone. Oh, wait. There was a really big blue cube below me. So apparently the scale didn't work. Scaling rules on the function. I did pick it from the IntelliSense. Huh, weird. OBJ is just scale then. For some reason the socket didn't work. It should automatically refresh. If you save a file, it should refresh. Okay, we have those there. So is there a cube? There's not a little cube now, so there is... Oh, whoa, there's a cube here. Do you have more cubes? No, there's only a cube there. So it could be that that position is not working. Oh, there's another one there. Wait. There was one here. And there's one there. Are there more? Are there more cubes? We do have 2 now. I'm not sure how far I need to... There's no feedback still on the touch. There's more cubes. We get cubes. And there's one there. So we have an interactable menu. I am so... Crap. Cables. I'm so excited that it works. It's so cool. We got it to work. We have a hand menu working. We have interaction working. Pretty basic, but we have the hand tracking working. We have... That is so freaking cool. Let's... I think I'm going to end the stream here for today. I will be back next Thursday. And next Thursday, we will continue working on this. So... we get a little bit of stuff done. And I hope that next stream we're going to get more into the gameplay of things. Which will be pretty cool. Let's go and rate Alex Clark. Yes, I will share the links. It will be so cool. So we're going to go to Alex Clark. He's building a VR game. It's pretty cool. And I will see you all again on the next one, which will be on Thursday, 9 p.m. Central European Time, which is, I think, 8 p.m. UTC. So I'll see you again then. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye!